But I'm glad that you have found it important for me to add my voice on the...
Honorable Gadoni, for record purposes, I'm usually very keen. Your card is having a challenge. So as you speak on this after finishing, please align it so that we can see on the screen. Proceed.
Okay, noted and obliged, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak on this bill, the statute law miscellaneous amendments number 2, bill of 2023. Mr. Speaker, I request you that you allow me to get some space from my colleagues who are consulting very loudly. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, this morning I was just having a discussion with one honorable member who is my colleague who comes from Kirinyaga. And I was talking to her in regards to the recent deaths, very emotional deaths that happened in Kirinyaga after very many families consumed the lethal alcoholic drinks that resulted to not only deaths but also a few members of those families lost their eyesight and forever they will be blind. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very touching, very emotional to see a county congregate together in a very, very remorseful service to bury not 2, not 5, not 10, but 23 persons who are affected by that consumption. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, having come from a county that is also suffering from the same problem, that is Kiambu County, and more specifically Githunguri constituency, where we are also suffering from the same problem of illicit substances proliferation in the villages, affecting the very productive people of the ages of 20 to 45, Mr. Speaker. I will be very, very scared to see anything appearing like ethanol or anything close to that being allowed to come to be traded in this country and to be given any preferential treatment in terms of taxes. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I refer to the recommendation that is appearing on this statute law recommendation on Value Addition Act 2013, number 35 of 2013. The bill proposes to amend the Value Add Tax Act of 2013 to reclassify the supply of gas meters of tariff number 9020.10.00 and the supply of denatured ethanol of tariff number 2207.20.00 as exempt and zero rated respectively. Mr. Speaker, I may not be very familiar with the purpose of these gas meters and ethanol, denatured ethanol. I may not be very privy to the reason why these gas meters and ethanols are being allowed to come into this country. I am not very familiar with what happens, but anything related to ethanol in this country sends shivers in my spine, because the impact and the effect of this ethanol is disastrous, is retrogressive, it is hazardous, and we may not be able to control the use of this based on the history of this country. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that there are members of various committees that sat down and deliberated on this kind of amendment. I will be ready to receive any information on the impact of such value relief for such gases and liquids, with the caution that we must not go back to where we were last week when we witnessed loss of lives and even loss of capacity to see. And on that note, Mr. Speaker, I was wondering when I was discussing with my colleague here, now that the 5 people out of the 23 that were buried, 5 people remain blind, did we get a formula of compensation, or did the government come in to support such kind of people in the community so that they can continue living their life positively? That is something that is really disturbing me as a mother, as a woman, because I know the impact of losing sight when you once could see and you cannot see anymore, especially when it comes to providing for your family. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I stand guided and would want to receive more information on why such a proposal is in this piece of amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. The Honorable Jane Kagiri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to support the state law miscellaneous amendments number 2, Bill National Assembly, Bill number 6.